morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Welcome back to Season 7, Episode 2 of Realm NFT, where we are trying to do an experiment where we put together a beginner's guide to help out essentially new players that come into the game. We are a few days into the season. We've made a lot of progress, but I wanted to go ahead and recap what we've been doing. Again, try and get this experiment going. And hopefully after the season, it'll be a blueprint for everybody. I did want to mention something because I did get a few comments on essentially my approach to this, the beginner's guide. So I wanted to address a few things. I think when you're jumping into a game as a beginner, there's a few approaches that you could do. The first approach is to just test it out. See if it's a game for you. Realm has a great free-to-play option where you don't have to buy any NFTs. You can go ahead and jump in and test it out and see if it's right for you. The other option, I think, when you're jumping into the game, and the approach that I like to take now that I've a little more experience with the Wax blockchain and play to earn and all that, is go into it with an agenda where you're trying to succeed. You're trying to produce, place, or whatever the goal of the game is. In this example, the goal of the game is to try and get in the top 50, top 100, whatever it is, to try and get some rewards from the season. So in order to do that, you have to come into it with some sort of budget. Depends on your personal situation. For me, for this season, what I came into was around a $100 budget, which allowed me to get a few 4-star leaders. So that's, I got a comment mentioning that around the 4-star leaders. They're not super expensive, obviously, depending on your situation. I get it. If it's outside your budget, go ahead and get a 3-star or a 2-star. The reason why I'm focusing on this is in order to be competitive, even in the Bronze League, which I'm in the Bronze League because I, again, restarted, you have to have some sort of higher tier leaders. Let me just show you an example. I've been going for not quite a week now. I'm in 26th place, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But if you look at the top people in the league, all have 5 stars. This is the Bronze League, and they have 5 stars. This one, I'll give you credit. You don't have 5 stars. You're actually the first one that I found that did not have 5 stars. There's some that have platinum heroes. You see right here, platinum hero. This is Bronze League. This is what you're entering in. This is kind of what my situation is. But in the top tier of the league, you have a lot of 5-star. Now I'm showing some bad examples, but just I wanted to give you an example. A lot of the people in the top 25 either have 5-star leaders or they have platinum leaders. So if you want to compete with them, you either need to have a really good strategy, which we're trying to develop as part of this series, or you have to have some really good NFTs. So my goal in this, again, is to try and put a strategy together that shows you how to do it without the putting the huge investment in. Because the 5-star leaders, they're costing 300 to 500 wax, depending on which one you go. This 5-star leader is 800 wax, at least the last time I checked. It may have changed since over the last week. So they're putting significant resources into this. So we're trying to focus on putting a beginner strategy together. All right, now that I got that out of the way, let's talk about what I've been doing. All right, I'm using advanced strategies that I went through the last season. So when I was really pushing for this, I did start with 5,000 RLM. That was part of the budget that I had talked about. And what we have in here is I focused on getting first few things in there. I leveled up my headquarters as quickly as possible to level 4. Try to do that fast, try to get the normal, the factory, we got the transport depot, we had the training facilities. All these were done right away, and then I got the research in there. And as soon as I got the research in there, my next goal was to go ahead and level this one up to 4 as quickly as possible. As you can see, I'm stuck on 4, but I'm actually going to be upgrading that shortly. But I wanted to get up to 4, and the reason I wanted to get up to 4 as quickly as possible was so I could go ahead and get the building permit. The building permit is 2,000 RLM. It takes about, I think it was 3 hours, but you needed to be at level 4 in order to do that. Once you had that there, you can go ahead and do double building in each of your towns. That speeds up the process considerably. So what I did after that, I got the double in there, then I went ahead and I researched the next special one, which was the research grant, which is about 1,000 RLM. So you see right there, I've taken a huge chunk of my first 5,000 RLM that I put in and did towards that. I also used some of that RLM towards just speeding up the process for some of the buildings. I wanted to continue to speed up where I could, but I didn't want to overdo it because I didn't have a huge budget for it. So I basically kept this at 4, started upgrading these, and that's when I started focusing on the missions. I didn't really do any missions until I got the research up to a certain point. So I held off on that. That's probably why I'm a little bit lower. I think I'll be able to catch up down the road, but because my technology and my research is a little further than probably a lot of these people in the top 20, I think. We'll see. But I focused on those. Then I started doing missions that allowed me to get over here to Asia within 24 hours. I was still able to do it within 24 hours, but it was right at the edge of 24 hours. It wasn't like last season where I was able to do it in like 10 hours. So we were able to get here, and what I did, I leveled this up to level 4 as quickly as possible again, so I could get another research center in there. Now I'm able to do double research, which allows you to continue to accelerate and gives you a lot of bonuses that you wouldn't have without the research or the double upgrading. And then once I got to a point where I got my storage high enough, I went ahead and leveled this guy up to this headquarters up to level 5, which allowed me to do the technology center. I only have my technology center at level 3 so far. I need to get more titanium to boost it up more. But you can see I have it up to 3. I used some more of the RLM, which was able to unlock a lot more of these. And I was able to upgrade this, which gives you more of a bonus. This is all early game stuff that I didn't think of when I was a beginner. I didn't think my full focus was getting resource production as high as possible, as quick as possible, and then running as many missions as possible. I didn't take into account how important research and technology are. That's one of the main focuses early game in the strategy. Get those up as quickly as possible. Because this season is a 12-week season, it is taking longer because the time frames for each item, each training, each research, each building is longer than it was last season. Last season it was much shorter because of the shortened season, but we are continuing to work through it. So that's where I'm at right now. I just got my 5th headquarters here. We are going ahead, and I have 2. It doesn't show it here. I think 1 just completed. I have 2 missions running, and I think that's going to be one of my struggles this season. I'm going to be able to get to a point because I have 2 leaders that can run a decent amount. This was one of the guys that I carried over from last time. He can do up to 179, so I have to continue to boost that up. What I did get, as I mentioned, I grabbed one of the packs, opened it up, and I only used a few of the guys from the packs. And then I went ahead, and he's one that I'm leveling up as I'm going through the process. This trucker will eventually probably be one that I station in there. So I'm gonna run into an issue in the very near future when I go ahead and get over to North America on what leaders I can post or stake here and what leaders will run on missions. So I have to figure that out. Haven't quite figured that out yet. Maybe I'll buy a cheap leader for 10 wax or whatever the 1-star, 2-star leaders are. And figure that out from there. I'm not sure on that yet, but that's going to be the next step. Again, this is trying to stay within a budget, trying to get as high a place as possible, which is going to be a challenge because I am fighting against a lot of 5-star and even platinum people in the Bronze League. I still think it's crazy that there are platinum leaders in the Bronze League. I didn't account for that originally when I started thinking about this series, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll continue to push. Like I said, I think the research and technology, jumping on that ahead of time, even though my mission speed's a little bit back, I think this is going to help me out considerably. I'm just starting to run the daily missions. Those are going to help out as far as my production with the daily or with the missions and leveling up. I think those are going to help out considerably. So we'll see what happens next week. I'll continue to document what I do on a step-by-step basis. And then at the end of the season, we can look back and see where I made mistakes, how it was successful. If there's some big mistakes that I made and I've noticed it, maybe we'll do a series next season where I make those adjustments, see how... We'll just see. Again, this is an experiment. Season 7 is an experiment to try and develop a beginner's guide. Let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions. Again, please don't suggest go out and buy 5-star leaders. That is not the point of this series. I'm looking for strategy, for beginner level strategy. Actually, I would say advanced level strategies that you can do in the beginner game to see how we can refine this blueprint that we're trying to put together here. All right, I appreciate you all joining. Again, if you are in Realm, go ahead and run your mission. They have the free NFT event that's going on right now, basically between now and I think it's a week and a half from now. If you run one mission, you're eligible to get that free NFT that gives you a boost with your resource productions. It's one that they give away every season. They do stack on top of each other, so it's a fun thing to take. It's a fun thing to grab, and you just have to run one mission. All right, let me know in the comments down below if you have any suggestions, any thoughts. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.